heard a little story recently about the Blue Angels. They were doing an air show in Moscow, I believe. Obviously, this was quite a few years ago now, but they had on the day a change of like part of the where they were meant to be doing the air show. Part of the city got cordoned off, and they weren't allowed to do it there. So they was kind of like, are we cancelling this, or are we going to try and do something? And they made up like a whole air show specifically like on the day for it. So just interested if there's a little bit of Red Arrows trivia here. Have you ever had like a particularly sort of challenging situation in the Red Arrows that you faced during performance or training, and how did you and the team overcome it? Just out of interest, if there's anything like that.
Yeah, there's every display is different, both whether the layout, the topography of the display site, where the crowd are, what restrictions are on what you can overfly, what you can't overfly. So every display is different. Let's just go back to that briefing and planning process. That's why it's so important. We did a display in the late 2000s in Switzerland, in the Swiss Alps, where trying to fit an entire Red Arrows display, which takes up around 4 to 5 miles of radius of airspace in the middle of 8,000-foot mountains. So it was very challenging. We had to kind of modify the display quite a lot to try and think how our maneuvers would fit in that bowl in the Alps, and that was very interesting. But generally, it's normally the weather that gives the biggest challenge. That's normally the factor that you have to really think about the most. And how are you going to change your performance or the display? Because you can actually go between the 3 different types of display depending on what the dictation of the weather is. So it's quite clever in that regard.